Dear friends, as all of us know, this year's IIT JAM examination and GATE examination is very near. Only around 2 weeks left out for that exams. As a part of the online problem solving sessions that we are arranging on behalf of Maths Aspirants Group, today we have a special session which is titled as The Winning Ways for IIT JAM, CSIR NET and GATE. Today we have the most right person, Mr. Elanchearan, Senior Research Fellow, IIT Madras, is with us as today's resource person. Mr. Elanchearan will help you by sharing some tips and tricks in your last moment preparations for these examinations, and also he will give some tricks to improve your confidence in facing the exams. Mr. Elanchearan did his B.Sc from St. Joseph College, Trichy, and he qualified IIT JAM with All India rank 4 in 2018, and he joined for M.Sc at IIT Madras. He qualified NBHM fellowship for M.Sc. Also, he qualified CSIR JRF and GATE examinations. In 2021, he qualified Prime Minister Research Fellowship PMRF. Mr. Elanchearan currently pursuing PhD at IIT Madras. His broad research area is harmonic analysis on Lie groups. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Elanchearan for being with us. I am sure that the next 2 hours will certainly help you in your final round preparations. I welcome everyone to this program. Welcome, Elanchearan.
Thank you for the kind introduction. So it's so nice to see a lot of undergraduate students at the same place, aspiring to do good mathematics. So I'll start with a quote, which I keep repeating again and again, and that's what defines me in participating in these kind of activities. Like, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So today's session is all about that. I'm not going to feed you with fishes. I'm going to teach you how to catch fishes. Okay, let's start. Let the interaction be 2 ways. If I'll be asking questions in between, give your answers in the chat. And if you have any doubts or questions that you want to ask, feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions. Okay, to start with, I would like to understand what are the kind of entrance exams that you're planning to write in the coming months. Can you please put it in the chat? Okay, Kishore says JAM, MBHM, GATE, JAM, GATE, JAM, GATE, JAM, MBHM. Okay, so most of you come under things that are associated with MSc entrance, and some people related to CMI entrance, CUET. Nice. Okay, so I'll start with my story. I when I was doing B.Sc, I wanted to go to a very good institute for MSc. And IIT Madras was the one that appealed as a very good institute to me, for me at that point. So JAM is the only exam that I know when I started my preparations. So my only goal was to clear and get into IIT Madras. So when I checked the previous year and cutoff and other things, I saw that if I get 65 plus, I'll get into IIT Madras. Each of you will have some institutes or some courses in your mind. So for me, it was IIT Madras, and in order to get that, I should get 65 plus. So I've set my goal as like 85. Even if something goes bad and so on, I'll definitely get 65 plus and get into IIT Madras. So I have set the goal as 65 IIT Madras, and then for IIT Madras, the goal I kept it as 85 in JAM. So if you have some, in your exams, JAM or NBHM, do you have a goal? Can you type what, or even if not a goal, what is your dream score that you want to get? Can you just type it in the chat? I would like to know. $50 plus. Kishore says 50 plus. Go for research. That's good. IIT Madras. Okay. It doesn't have to be mark. Even if it's place, that's fine. You can decide what mark. 90 plus. Good. Aim higher. So another research TFR above 60. Good. Okay. So I'll just tell what I did. So I studied about 60 to 70% roughly of the syllabus. And then I kept my goal as 85. I don't know how I'm going to do. I've covered 60 to 70% of the syllabus couple of weeks before the exam. And my goal is 85. Remember, my goal is to get 85 in exam. I didn't know what to do. I have covered 60 to 70%. I thought I'll write a mock test and then I will see how much mark I'm getting. I have covered 60 to 70%, right? At least I should get 40 marks, 50 marks, something around that. So that's what I tried. So what would be your guess? I have covered 60 to 70% of the syllabus and I wrote my first mock test. How much mark do you think I would have got? You can put it in the chat. Completing 60 to 70% of the syllabus and I wrote my first mock test. How much mark do you? 30, Hindu says 30, 30 to 45, 22, okay, 22. Okay. So the mark I got was around 9.5 or something like that. It was just single digit. And it was very shocking to me. My goal is 85. I have studied 60% of the syllabus and I got only 9 point something in single digit mark. So it was very shocking to me. And then I didn't know what to do. Even now I see this happening, that if we cover 100, say even 100% of the syllabus, people think that covering the syllabus will get them the scores. I know a friend of mine who studied various textbooks, like very standard Rudin and other books. He conceptually is very clear and he covered a lot of the syllabus. So when he attended JAM and gave the exam, I thought he's going to get like extraordinary mark and so on, but he could not get into even any of the IITs. So the reason is covering syllabus is independent of you getting marks. So even if you study 100% of the syllabus, it is not necessary that you will get high score in JAM. Even a score that will get you clear basic cutoff. So how do we go about this, right? So, okay, so I did some process. That is what we are going to talk today. So I got in my first mark test 9 point something. Can you guess what would be my final score? Sir mentioned my rank, so I'll not ask that question. So what would you think would be my final score? 70, 59, 70. Okay, somewhat closer. Okay, so my mark in the final exam was 72 with 0 negative marks. So from 9.5 with a lot of negative marks to 72 with 0 negative marks is something that I did not guess at all. Even while I was preparing, I was just studying. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing some process and finally I got this. So on retrospection, when I looked back, I just figured out, okay, studying concepts is one part that may not get you marks. There are some more things that you have to do which will help you improve the marks. So there is something that we have to do in order to improve the final score that we are going to get in the exam. So what is that? So before getting into the detail, what I tried is last year, a couple of my juniors asked me like, what should we do in the last minute? Like, we are not sure whether we'll pass the exam and so on. So what I did is I organized a very small session for a couple of my juniors, I think 5-6 people. And one person was telling that I'm not sure what I'm going to do, like whether I will pass the exam or not. He, like at the end, he got all India rank 15. So even I was shocked to hear that he got all India rank 15. So what did we do? So to put it in one single word, what I told to him and what he followed, that's what I'm going to share in today's session. So let's start. So what do we do? Okay, before I start sharing what strategy that you should follow in the last couple of weeks to improve marks, I assume one thing, that I assume at least many of you have completed 60% or at least 50% of the syllabus. Yeah, even if not that, given a question, previous year JAM question, you should be able to identify which part of the syllabus it is coming from. So that is an assumption that I'm making. With that, you can start doing the strategy that I'm going to suggest. Okay. So it is a repetitive process. I'll start with first. So you write a time-bound mark test of previous year questions. So you take previous year question of some year and then you write with a time bound 3 hour, means 3 hour. And second, once you finish the exam, assess where you lost the mark, why did you lose the mark, how you can improve, how you can get that mark, and what you can do to cover those marks. So the second part is basically you finish the exam, time-bound mark test of previous question, and then you start assessing where you have lost the mark and how you can get that. And third is you prepare a separate notes. So across your preparation journey, you have created a lot of notes. In the last for this specific stretch of mark test, for each mark test, you create a note where you make note of the points that you lost mark and the thing that you didn't know. We'll come to the point how to make these notes. Okay, so time bound mark test, and then after the test is done, you assess where you lost the mark, and then what you can do to cover those things. Third is make notes for this. So fourth point is, so try new strategies in terms of time management and different things, and you repeat this process again. So time bound mark test, assess why you're losing marks, how you're losing marks, how you can improve, and then make notes. So revise the notes and experiment new strategies, and then keep repeating this process. Time bound mark test, assess where you're losing mark, how you can improve, make notes, revise the previous notes, and then you repeat this process. So this is what I did, and this is what I suggested him to do. But there are some certain subtle things here to note down. Okay, now a question for you to answer. Now you would have been solving previous some questions, practice questions, right? So on an average, how much minutes is it taking for you to solve one single question? I would like you to comment. Put it in the chat. 5 minutes. Kishore says 5 minutes. Maximum 5 minutes. Harita says 10 minutes. Subhajit Mandal is very calculative. He says 3 minutes. Satya says 7 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. So, how much time will you have? So most of the people among the thing that you're telling, it stays somewhere around 5 minutes. So how much time will you get in the entrance exam? See, you can study all the things, right? At the end of the day, at least you should be able to answer the questions that you actually know how to answer, right? So how much time will you get in the final exam? So how do you calculate? Simple. 3 hours, 180 minutes, and then 60 questions. So 3 minutes per question. And it is not just 3 minutes per question. Someone mentioned 5 minutes max, right? So some question will actually take 5 minutes. And some questions will take lesser minutes. So for example, we have different variety of questions, right? Multiple choice question, multiple select question, and the numerical answer type. So the way you approach these questions will take a different amount of time for you to find the answers. So how do you split the time between these kinds of questions? So basically, time management is a very critical thing, which we don't do. We just keep studying, and we don't care about the time management, which is highly important. So when you're writing a mark test, that's why I mentioned keep a time-bound mark test. So keep 3 hours and write. If you are not, just strict 3 hours. If you are just able to solve even 50% of the question, only like say 30 questions in 3 hours, that's fine. You stop. That means then you create a strategy how to do. I'll just share what I did. So in the beginning, what I did is I should not leave any question that I know of, right? So I created 3 phases of writing the exam. In the first phase, if I'll be solving a question within 1 minute or keep some time bound within the finite time. If you're not able to solve, you just quickly switch to the next. The intention of first phase is to cover all the questions and not to stick with any one thing. So in the first phase, I will cover all the questions. If anything is solvable, I'll solve in the time. So in the first, when I complete the first phase, all solvable questions will be solved. If suppose there are some questions which will take a lot of time, I know how to solve, but it will take a lot of time. So those kind of questions I'll keep for second phase. And third phase are the thing which I'll keep for I do not know the answer, but still it doesn't have a negative answer. So I'll try answering those. So that is the third phase. So this is how I started doing it. And you won't believe, I I couldn't solve problems within 3 hours. I kept repeating with the mock test. At the final mock test that I wrote, I was able to complete the whole test within 2 hours. 3 years exam, I was able to complete it 2 hours. I was very confident. But the thing is, when I went to the actual exam, I couldn't answer 4 5 questions because of time constraint. I couldn't do it. So even with this much of practice and trying to handle the things, I couldn't do. So it's very important that your mind is tuned to manage the time under the pressure, like questions that you don't know, and so on. For example, it's very easy to say that you should not sit in the same question for a long time, but only through experience like this, you will get to know how much time you can sit in a question and when to move to the next one. That will come to you only when you try and experiment and do. So first part is time management, right? That you can gain by doing time bounded mock test, and after each mock test, see how well you manage your time and try a better strategy in the next exam. So for example, sometimes I tried the strategy of writing the multiple select question in the first, multiple choice question second, numerical answer second. So switching this also, like get like this kind of, you understand which kind of questions are you comfortable with. When you start with very difficult question, you might get tired, and you might prolong the duration of the exam. So you just experiment and see what is the best thing that you can do for you. So the first part is time bound mark test of previous year questions. I will come, why I mentioned previous year question, I'll come to the end and address it again. So the second part is assessing where you're losing marks and how you're losing marks. So now this is very critical, and this is where the improvement happens, right? So identification of reasons for why you're losing marks and where you're losing marks, and after that we will see how to handle them. Okay, now I want you to, you just imagine what are the places you're losing your marks, or what are the reasons why you're losing mark. It can be some types of questions, it can be some reason, or you didn't study some part. So you just put it in the chat, what are the reason you are losing marks. You think you will lose mark. You have tried some exams that marked us, that's fine. If not, what will be the reason? If suppose you are losing marks, what will be the reason? Unknown. Okay, some particular tricks that you're not aware of. MSQ, counter examples. Okay, what would be other reasons? Lack of concentration. Very important. Calculation error. Yeah, but this just reminds me of something. In the final exam, when there was a time constraint, I wrote 2 power 3 as 6. It's very stupid, but such calculation errors do come. Okay. So there are a couple of things that I noted down apart from the other things I listed. So first is multiple select. Many people find it difficult to get full marks in the multiple select because there are more than one correct answer. You have to choose all the right answer in order to get marks. So that is one place. Numerical answer, people do some calculation errors and other things. So we will address one at a time. Okay, I will list all these and then we will address one at a time. MSQ, numerical answer type. And the third part is the time constraints. So people don't care about the time constraint, and people even forget about something, that there is something called time constraint, and you just keep studying, and you miss this part. I will elaborate on the time constraint. Fourth is problems from specific topics and subjects that you have not studied from. So you have not studied, say, multivariable calculus. You have not studied some topics, and problems come from those topics, so you lose marks there. And how to find solutions. Okay, so another important part is, so if at all you how to find, so you are writing a mock test, you are not able to find answers for some questions. How do you find solutions for questions that you can't solve by yourself? What are the sources that can be helpful to you? So MSQ. So MSQ, numerical answer type, time constraints, problems that comes from topics and subjects that you have not studied, and how to find solutions for questions that you have not solved by yourself. So let's start with MSQ. In multiple select, the strategy that I used and I suggest is this. See, when you look into this questions with options, what we do is we just look into what is the right answer and then we move away, right? But in multiple select, they design the wrong answer in such a way that you will choose it as correct. So what you do is you just look into each of the options and see why it is wrong, and when it will be correct. So think about those things and make notes for them as well. So for multiple select, the thing that I suggest is don't look into the correct answers, look into the wrong answers and see why they are wrong. And how to do this? This is where one of the comments that mentioned by Bhumika, where she mentions that counter examples. We will see in solving today's problem. If you want to tell something is wrong, a statement is wrong, you need a counter example. Is one way to show that something is wrong. And so MSQ, whenever you're writing the mark test, for all the MSQ, even if I written the correct options, see why the wrong options are wrong. If you have enough time, you can do this process for MCQ as well. Only one option is right, but why the other options are given there? Are there any connections? So try to look into these things. This will help you two ways: deepen your understanding of concepts, and second, mentally prepare you to check how you should tell something is wrong, something is right. Because in MCQ, it's fine if you are able to tell one thing is right? But it's not like that in MSQ. You have to tell one thing is right, another thing is wrong. So do that process and make notes for that as well. So even if you know for an MSQ, you know the right answers are two, why the other two options are not coming, what logical reason can be given. So for numerical answer type, I don't have any specific suggestion. Keep solving many problems, and that will help you form a pattern and become error free. Whenever you're making some errors, make a note of it in your notes. And time constraint, I have talked about it. Okay, problems from specific topics and subjects that you have not studied. So this is a serious issue. So from 9.5 to 72, what I did is I was just did all the things that I said above. Uh, Even I'll cover how to find solutions for questions that you can't solve by yourself, and then come back to this problems from topics that you have not studied. So you got some problem while writing the mark test that you don't know how to find the answer for, where to look for. So I'll provide some couple of resources which you might know already. If not, I'll share. So one thing is preparatory materials. So from coaching centers or from internet, some preparatory notes which are specifically designed for JAM or GATE or exams like this. So those will have the formulas, how to integrate different kinds of differential equations, how to solve all these content will be there. So it's easy to get those things. And suppose that is one. What is the second resource? It is your peers, your friends who are also preparing for JAM, GATE, and exams that you're preparing for. So peers is a great resource. And third is reference textbooks. That is, they may not be preparatory materials specifically designed for JAM. Those are preparatory materials, but reference textbooks are the ones that are common textbooks, like for real analysis, for linear algebra. So those textbooks. So those places, for example, there will be some kind of sequence converging to say pi by 4, converging to pi square, things like that. We may not; those things may not be available in the coaching materials and so on. Referring to textbooks might help. And final and most importantly, internet. But searching randomly in internet is a difficult thing. So how many of you know something called Maths Stack Exchange? Can type in the chat. Oh, someone raises the hand. Yes. Okay. It's good to know that these many people know. I'm just putting it in the chat for people who doesn't know. So Maths Stack Exchange is like Quora or online platform where people ask questions in the internet and anyone in the internet can answer those. The good part is that most of the JAM, GATE, TF, or these questions are already available in those stack exchanges, and someone have already answered those also. So almost all these questions have solutions in the internet. So in the Maths Stack Exchange in specific. So so that's a great resource when you're stuck with finding solutions for questions that you actually don't know how to solve by yourself. Now so I did all these things, right? So I wrote my mark test. I wrote, I assessed where I'm losing marks, made notes for MSQ, numerical answer type, looked into how I'm managing my time, trying to improve. And for questions that I don't know, I found solutions in the internet, made notes for that. But still I couldn't cross say 35, 40, but my goal is 85. And then I just writing this exam helped me identify one thing, that I'm losing marks in areas, like large amount of marks in areas that I did not study. For example, say, as I mentioned earlier, multivariable calculus is something that I could not study as a theory. I mentioned, right, I only covered 60% or something in terms of syllabus. So this multivariable calculus, I could not even study the theory. But what I observed is I was losing 10 marks in each of the exams. So how do we, 10 marks is huge. If I'm even able to get like say 80% of that, it will be huge. So what I did is I just started solving problems from multivariable calculus that comes in the mock test that I'm writing. So I'm not studying theory. I'm just solving problems from the mock test that I'm writing. So after 3-4 mock tests that I wrote, I observed that there is a pattern, that same kind of questions, not same questions, the same questions with same kinds of concepts and formulas are being repeated, same tricks. If you know those set of things, you can answer almost 8 marks out of 10. So that's that made a huge jump. So this is one thing where I lost mark and I saw how to improve as well. So identification of these are the places where I identified and I improved. Now coming more, so first I mentioned about time-bound mark test. Next is assessing different reasons why you're losing marks and how to handle them. And then making notes out of it, which is the very important part. See, when you're making notes during your preparation, you'll keep writing different equations. You'll write this method, that method, variable separation. You'll keep a linear PD, a linear ODE, and all these things you'll keep writing. But the important point is you will not have too much time in the final exam for you to revise. So what do? You need a note that exactly tells you what you need to know and what you don't know. It should not be redundant, right? What you already know, that should not keep coming again and again, right? That's just a waste of time. And again, you should not be reading too many things. Just because you want to read things that you do not know, you should not be reading too many things. You should read things that are required for you to score. So how do we create such a note? So that is where two things come into picture. First is previous year questions. So when you write previous year questions, and from those questions, you make note for the things that you don't know in the previous year question. How does it help? So basically, I give this analogy. Say there is a crime, there is a murder. How do you identify the killer? There will be some hints left by the killer, right? So similarly, you're going to write an exam. You're going to guess what kind of questions are going to come. So that hint is exactly provided by the previous question. If you keep solving previous question, you will understand what I'm telling. There is a pattern. If you know a couple of concepts in this area, you will solve. If you know certain formula, certain tricks in this area, you will solve. For example, if you have started solving some problems, you will identify that. You can connect with what I'm telling. Say group theory. You have studied all the theorems, isomorphism theorem, different statements, and so on. When you start solving problems from JAM and other exams, you will identify that you could not solve many problems.
Sir,
The
please
reason is
increase the volume.
Do you need me to increase the volume? Is it better now?
Yes, yeah, it's perfect. You can continue, no problem.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you. So, yeah. So about making notes, using previous question helps you identify exactly what you need to know, and you are making notes only for the things that you don't know from those previous questions, right? And also, when you're writing, making notes from the previous questions, there is two things to note down. You should not keep writing elaborate for one single question. You should not be writing the complete solution or 2-page hints. You will not get time to revise. It should be one line, one point, or one formula, or a couple of very, very brief 2-line, 3-line kind of stuff. So only then you will be able to revise, and only then it will be helpful. So when you're making notes, it should be concise. And the second thing is it should be generalized. For example, I'll give you an answer. How many number of elements of order 2 are there in the group S3? This is the question. So when I make note for this question, so I don't know how to find the answer for this. So I say I'm looking into some textbook or something and I found. When I'm making a note for it, what will I add to my note? Will I add number of elements of order 2 in the group S3 is something? Or what should I do? Right? It should be as generalized as possible. The next time the person, like the question is not going to be number of elements of order 2 in S3, right? So they will ask number of elements of order, say 5 in S6 or something like that. So I need to know number of elements of order K in Sn. So I will just write simply this number of elements of order K in Sn. There is a formula. So I'll just note down that formula. So the 2 points to note down. One is it should be concise. It should be very small, as minimal as possible. You should not note down the solutions. You should note down the points that you don't know. If you know that point, you can solve the whole problem. So it should be concise in that way. Second, it should be as gentle as possible. It should not be like, it should be helpful for you to solve similar kind of problems. So these are all the points that I wanted to mention about making notes, and I covered why previous year questions are important. There are questions from other sources who provide mark test and other things. You can take that, but give first priority to previous year question. From my experience, I noted down that mark tests from other institutes and other online platforms, they are not customized to JAM. That's my personal opinion and experience. But I suggest you give first priority to previous year questions for mark test. And one more myth that I want to break is uh, if you write your one previous year question as a mark test for once, that doesn't mean you will get even not 100, even you will not get 80 the second time you're writing the question. Even after noting down where you lost the mark, even after noting down the points, like the hints how to solve the problems that you couldn't solve, there are too many factors. So it doesn't mean that you solve a previous year question for once and then that's done. You can write it for second, third, and so on. So I'll sum it up. The process is you time bound mark test of previous year questions. Second, you assess where you lost mark and how do you cover for it. 3, make notes. Fourth point is revise these notes. So say I've written 5 mark tests and make notes for this. Revise these notes and then keep repeating the process again. Write time bound mark test and assess where you lost the marks. Make notes for the points and revise all the previous notes and then see how you can improve and again write the time bound mark test. So this is the strategy that I would like to suggest for all of you. And I would like to mention subconsciously what will happen when you're doing this process to you. So you'll, even without knowing, you'll identify patterns of questions that's going to come across all topics. In say in integrations, this kind of questions will come. Say in sequence and series, these kind of sequences will come. And if these kind of sequences comes, then these are the tricks to use. So these kind of subconsciously identify this pattern, and these formulas, tricks, ideas will get familiar within you. And remember, when you're solving the previous year questions, you're not familiarizing random techniques, random formula, random ideas. You're getting familiar with formulas, ideas, tricks that are being asked in JAM again and again, or GATE, whatever the respective exam. Second, you will get trained to handle the pressure and complete things within the given 3 hours. This sounds very common sense and simple, but most of us don't give enough care to this. So this is also another important thing that I want to mention. You consciously, given a question, it's very too tough. You will get prepared to handle that. Instead of getting stuck or instead of losing your mental energy, you will know how to handle this. So these are the points that I wanted to suggest. So yeah, so finally, to key takeaway in terms of strategy is that set a greater goal, keep writing markers of previous year questions in a way to achieve those goals, those dream scores that you want to get. And important point that I suggested to the people last time is, most of the time when we write mark test or when we do these things, we will lose our mental energy because we would have put in a lot of efforts and we will be aspiring for good marks and so on. But what we get is not that, right? So I will tell another quote which is very inspiring to me, that in case of failure, It is the path that needs to be changed, not the goals. So in case of failure, it's the path that needs to be changed and not the goals. So when you this very thought should is something that will help you. So when you lose mark, don't think that you can't achieve or something like that. Rather, see what are the places that you can improve upon. So even I'll tell a different approach, mental approach to this. So this is interesting. So when I got 9.5 marks, it was sort of very saddening that I don't know what I'm going to do, because my only goal is to get into IIT Madras. How am I going to improve? So what I observed is, instead of looking at I got only 9.5 marks, I got to see that I know that the remaining 90.5 marks is actually telling me something. What is it telling me? It is telling me these kind of questions are the questions that you actually don't know. At least learn these questions. If you do not know how to, if you at least know these things, you will not make the same mistake in the final exam. So this is what helped me in this whole phase. So each exam, I'm not worried about the mark I'm getting. Of course, I want to improve, but each mark I'm losing, it is telling me something. So look for opportunities when you fail. So especially at the place where you're failing, look for opportunities. In the sense, when you writing an question mistake by mistake, or you're not knowing how to solve a question, it is basically telling you that these kind of questions might come in the final exam. Get prepared for it. So that's what I did. So I wrote mock test. I created notes for questions that I didn't know how to write, how to solve, and then I kept revising, and then rewrite again, writing the previous question as mock test, repeating this process couple of times, and this landed me in 72 with 0 negative mark, which I did not guess that I will get. So this is all that I want to say. If you have any questions, you can ask, and then you can move towards solving problems. Taneshwar asked how many mark tests we should give from now. It's up to you. Give as many as you can. About mark test, I wanted to tell two things. Don't go for very old mark test, in the sense like 10 years, 15 years, like that. First, try to cover the ones in the close. And another thing is, if suppose say this year IIT Guwahati is the organizing institute, so look into the previous IIT Guwahati's organizing year and try to solve those questions. That's why I choose JAM 2015 as well. So these are the things. How many mark tests? I would suggest how many ever as possible. Again, writing many mark tests is not, count is not important. What you're doing with the mark test is important. Writing mark test and then making notes for those mark test, and then analyzing how you can improve, and then again writing mark test. So it's not just you write 10 mark tests and you don't care about the questions that you left. So writing mark test is not about checking how much mark you're getting, rather checking where are the places where marks are going and how do you improve on those. So writing mark test is about that. It's about identifying where marks can be improved. Okay, so round out. Each time we attend JAM mark test, questions will be same or different. By mark test, I'm just telling you just take a previous question as PDF or print out whatever it is and write on your own. That's what I mean. If you can write the same questions also, but say after 4-5 days, like try some other questions in between. Don't solving previous questions repeatedly as mock test enough for preparation. Okay, so Bhumika asks whether solving previous year questions repeatedly as mock test enough for preparation. So solving previous year question means most of the people, another problem that people do is they just take a question not in terms of time bound, just solve questions and then go. That's not going to help. You have to work as a time bound. Each question you have to sit for 3 hours and write. So previous question you have to do mock test and not solving on. Two, writing mock test alone is not sufficient. You're actually, after writing the mock test, you're actually studying, but what you're doing is you're doing backward integration. So instead of studying all theory and solving problem, you're solving problem and looking into the contents that are required for you to solve that question. So you're basically studying as well in this way. So if you do it thoroughly, I guess that should be sufficient. That's what I believe. Again, for this question, so I told that I assumed something in the beginning, right? So I assumed that either you have covered 60%, 50% in total, or given any question, you would know this question belongs to this subject in mathematics. And if suppose I don't know the answer, I can refer to this textbook or some preparatory material. If you know that, then solving previous year, okay, doing mock test, assessing where you lost, making notes, and repeating this process is sufficient. Akshay R. Approx how much marks is required to join each IIT? Akshay, you can check the internet. There are a lot of cutoffs and other details that are available. I don't know the specific. It's been quite some time. Have you covered all the topics while you're preparing? No, that's never going to happen. Francie asked, this is a very important question that she asked. Have you covered all the topics while you're preparing? I mentioned that I covered only 50, 60% or 70% max of the topics. And if you think that, I will take 6 months break, 1 year break, and then I will cover 100% syllabus and then write next time, that's never going to happen. So don't worry about, so in the last time talk when I gave for math aspirants, I mentioned the preparation of stage 1 and stage 2. What I elaborated today is basically stage 2. Stage 1 is where you study the theory part. So once you cover 50, 60, 70% of the syllabus, or given any question from previous year question, which subject it comes from, you can jump into the stage 2 that we discussed today. So preparing all topics is never going to happen. That's an ideal situation. Don't get stuck there. Start solving questions. That will help you. So at this point in time, how should we divide our students in studies in terms of theory revision and problem practice? So I'll share what I did. He's asking at this point of time, with a couple of weeks ahead, should we divide our studies in terms of theory revision and problem practice? So what I did is, in the first couple of mock tests, I did not even revise the theory part. Okay, for the first mock test, I did the theory part, but for the next thing, I did too. So what I did is, even in a studied subject where I have some notes, I made some mistakes in the second mock test because I did not revise. But what I did is, I just made notes for those things which I in the second stage that we discussed today. I made notes for those questions as well. So what's happening is, I'm not anymore sticking to the larger version of notes that I created for a long time. I'm just, whatever point that is being required for the previous year questions in the mock test process that I'm doing, I'm just making note for it. So what I do is, if suppose there is a problem that I made mistake, that I do not know how to solve, that requires some specific techniques from a topic that I have already noted somewhere, I just go look into it. What are the specific thing that is required? I make a note of it for revising again and again. So that's what I do. That's what I did. Should I take mock test from other source along with previous year question? Give first preference to previous year question. Make sure that you get to complete at least past 5, 6 years of previous year question, at least, and together with 2015. And then if you have time, you can consider further. There was, okay, any other questions? There was a question which was asked before. Kishore asked, when did you take first master's before actual exam? I think I take somewhere in January. I don't remember exactly. Can you suggest a problem-based books for differential equation topic? I don't know. It's very important that you get hold of these differential equations. You solve at least one problem. When you're in the preparation stage, you solve at least one problem in each type. So what I did is, I followed, so I bought some material. I don't know what exactly, Career Endeavor, somewhere and other different things. So some preparatory material, coaching material or something like that. So what they do is, they state each type of questions. So each type of differential equations and how to solve them, and an example, and then followed by an exercise. So I just did this, gone through this, and this helped me for differential equations completely. So to answer your question in particular, some coaching materials that is there should help you, where they will list down all these things. I'm not sure whether you have one. If not, you can find some of these notes in online and some other resources as well, Telegram. Sir, I didn't study for GATE. How can I cover in 20 days? Okay. I think I'm planning on writing GATE as well. I haven't started studying. I'm just going to do the same process that I told you, but I'm just going to try something different. I'll not have one stretch of 3 hours to write mock test and so on. So I'm just using some app where I can see one question at a time. So whenever I have free time, I'll just go to that app and then click and then see one question at a time. So I can revise those things. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just the same process I'm doing, but instead of if you have enough time, you just write mock test and do this. But I don't know how much of theory you already know prior. Those things I'm not sure. MD raising. Okay, there are a couple of people who have raised your hand. If you want, you can unmute and ask a question. Okay, any other questions? Can you suggest? Yeah, so I prepared on my own. So that's good thing, I would say. On one hand, I did not have much of resources, but but on other hand, what I saw people who went to this coaching places happened is once they join to a coaching institute, they will be like, okay, whatever this coaching institute is going to give, I'm going to study 100% and I'm going to get what I want, going to go wherever I want, clear exam. But that's not going to happen. Even if you study 100%, which is not going to happen. Even if you study that, do that, 100% of the material that your coaching center is going to give, you're not going to give, you're not going to get good scores because it's very different. So what happens is 100% reduces to 70% with time, 50% in time. So you just believe that whatever your coaching center says, if you do that, you will get scored, but that's not true. So in that way, I felt that I did not go to any coaching center. So I constantly had this question: will I be able to go to IIT Madras? That's what helped me kept on assessing where I'm losing mark, how to improve, and so on. Okay. Someone asked about Prime Minister Fellowship preparation. There is no preparation. You just apply. You just submit some application. There is no preparation that you have to do much. You can look into the Prime Minister Fellowship portal, which is pmrf.in, and there are some basic basic details like eligibility and other stuffs you can get to know from that. Kishore says not audible, but I'm not sure. How much time should I afford for studies? I don't know. That's a very vague question. Can you suggest an app like what you may just mentioned? In the last minute, I don't want to confuse you with different apps. So you better focus on the way you are doing. Don't get distracted with apps. Last minute, it is not good to do that. To answer your question, the app that I mentioned is Anki. Anki, which is basically an app to do something called flashcards. Flashcards are basically front side you'll have question, back side you'll have answer. So you have to create that at first. So that itself will take some time. So once you have created that, you just it will come ANKI, Anki. ANKI. Don't do that. Don't get into that at this point. You just prepare the same way that you're doing right now. Which year you cleared GATE? I think I wrote twice and I cleared during M.Sc once and then after that once. GATE score is used for PhD. Yeah, it is. So what they do is when you apply for PhD program to different IITs and so on, um, um, they have a cutoff. So say they have 5 positions that they can recruit for, 5 PhD positions. They will call some 30 people for interview, but applications will be 300, 400. So in order to shortlist this, they will use the GATE score. What's the difference between JAM and GATE for UG students? So, I'm not sure like whether UG students get benefit by writing GATE. If anyone else knows, they can. Okay, Rose has raised her hand. Can you please unmute and tell what you want to ask? You can ask.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, actually.
Actually, I wanted to ask that we should focus on our master's course or in free time we should prepare for GATE exam or side by side we should focus more on the GATE exam besides the MSc.
Okay, what do you think we should be doing? What do you think would be the right thing to do?
Actually, my first semester is going on, so right now my priorities is my master's only.
Okay. Oh,
But
I
I'm
didn't
not
get your point.
getting the
What do you think is the right? What do you think is the right thing to do?
I
What do
think
you think will be
masters, focusing
masters?
on
Huh?
masters is,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So it's a very personal choice. So yeah. So which one is a priority for you? You decide on that. There's nothing called right or wrong. So uh, in my case, what I would do is so this is the phase where you have to, if your goal is to go for higher studies, PhD and other things, I'll spend time, I'll give priority for GATE or JAM, whatever it is, and then try to do a good job, not a bad job. Try to do a decent job with the coursework, semester courseworks. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
That's what I would
Thank
do.
you.
Yeah. Which are the topics cover? Okay. We'll just take two more minutes, and then we'll go to which are the topics to cover compulsory, like most easily scoreable parts of syllabus. Haritha, you have asked this question: is it for JAM or GATE? JAM, MA, or JAM? Okay, so how do you decide which topic to cover compulsory? So I don't know. So what I thought is I will cover all part except for multivariable calculus, but I saw that's where I was losing, so I had to study. So the goals will tell you which is compulsory for you to study, but the thing is how you study is another part, right? You study all the theory and then solve problems. That may not be possible for some areas, like it was for me for a multivariable calculus. So um, you just however you want to get some idea where how much amount of questions are coming. So for each of these exam, JAM, GATE, there will be year wise, subject wise, how many marks questions have been asked, how many marks. So that data you can find it in internet, and that will help you get an idea. Okay, this many marks are coming on an average in this area, in this area, in this area. And but which to cover compulsory, that for me I would say it is determined by the goal that you have, how many marks you want to get. Okay, fine. So good, fine. So we will get started with,
Hello, sir.
yes, yeah.
Sir, can you tell about, can you give some idea about the rank and rank versus marks in GATE exam?
No, the reason is it's been quite some time since I was looking into those data like numbers, ranks, and so on. However, I would suggest you take a look into the internet. It's just you can Google and figure it out. It will take some time because in internet they don't usually put the marks. They just put rank, or they just put rank and don't put mark. But I saw somewhere, I don't know exactly where. I saw in some website couple of weeks ago. For GATE mathematics, they have put year-wise marks and ranks. You can take a look into it. So what they will do is they will not give mark for every people. They will give mark for AR1, something like that. You can sense from that. Okay, first mark is this much, and so it will be like that. So that's one way. I don't. How many questions have you attended in JAM 2018? Come on, it's been like 5 years now. Out of 60, I don't remember. I don't remember. Okay, so I'll just wait for one final minute and then we'll start go for, if you have any questions you can ask, and then we'll go for problem solving. What is the optimal number of questions? Okay, we should attend. Again, what does optimal mean? Like it depends on, you have a goal and you optimize things towards that. So if your goal is 100, if your goal is 50, your goal is 80 marks, then you optimize number of questions according to that, right? So this JAM is for integrated PhD or for PG alone. So JAM is basically for MSc, but it is also for PhD in certain institutes, including IISERs. IIT Bombay has an integrated PhD in some I think, I don't remember exactly, in some applied related area. And so integrated PhD is also possible. IISc has an integrated PhD program, which is it's recruits through exam. ICER's IISc. Okay. Okay, so let's start with problems that from JAM 2015. I just wanted to, so as I mentioned at the beginning, it's not about feeding you with fishes. It's now time to learn how to catch fishes. So I'll share a couple of, I'm going to share I'm going to share a link. In the meantime, you guys can, I would like you to try these things out. Have a pen and paper with you. In the meantime, I'll share a link with questions. Take a pen and paper. So it's almost an hour now. So I value your time. I don't want to take much time in this last minute. I'll just show you a couple of examples how to make notes for these questions, and we'll just wind up that. So we'll give you 10 minutes. Say you are having 2 minutes for each questions. You have to solve questions from the part B, which is from question number 11. So start solving from question number 11. Solve as many questions you want. At least try to solve at least 5, given that you have 2 minutes for each question. If you're able to solve more than 5, go ahead with 16, 17, and so on. So start from question number 11. Start solving. You have 10 minutes from now. Okay, time's up. Fine. Let's see how many questions have you guys solved? Can you put it in chat? Just put it in chat how many questions you have solved. Omega says completed. 3. Good. 6. Good. 3. 1. 5. 1. 2. Good. Good. 2. Glad you tried. 2. 2. 5. I think on an average you could keep it around 3, I guess. Okay. So now I need a couple of volunteers. So who has not? People who are willing to volunteer, please raise your hand. I need a couple of volunteers to take it forward. Raise your hand and we will start with. Yeah. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. I think Satya, can you unmute yourself? Sure. I would like you to tell one problem that you did not solve. That you could not solve.
So the first one,
first one, variable to solve. Or okay. I just want to ask one more thing before we get into the specific. So, how did you guys feel about writing this time-bound thing, like trying to solve these many problems within like 10 minutes? Can you share some thoughts in the chat? What did you experience? Like, what were the thoughts when you tried solving problems within 10 minutes? Not just for Satya, for everyone. So when you guys tried solving problems, like say these many number of problems within 10 minutes, what did you realize, or did you realize something that you have to do different or something like that? Satya says he is not sure like where to start first problem. Harita says if you don't know answer, we will switch to next one. Good. Saurav says he is hurried. So the important point is not running fast than normal times. Okay, Kishore says running fast than normal times. I guess that's what is required. You have to run fast in order to solve as many problems as possible in the exam. Normal times should be different. So okay, Sakshi, can you tell what are you trying to tell? Repeat. Subhajit is telling it was challenging. Sakshi, you are telling something. Can you repeat? Cool. If it doesn't happen, that's okay. Okay, so let's get back to Satya again. So the important part is not about writing, as I mentioned, it's not about writing tests. It's about looking into how we can improve, what are we feeling, and how we can improve things. Okay, the question. Okay, Sakshi has typed the question in between, which I was not able to solve, was creating stress. Exactly. So how do you handle those stress? If you're not able to solve one question, it should not affect the next questions, right? So I have experienced once that the first couple of 4-5 questions very tough, and then the whole exam became tough for me. When I finished the exam and came and spoke to my friend, he mentioned that exam was one of the easiest among the last 5 years, but I felt it was the toughest one. So it's not, you should know how to handle those things. That comes only through experience. Okay, so let's start with Satya. Satya, which problem have you solved the first problem?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. So what about the second problem?
I know.
Oh, okay. How far? Okay. Why you are not able to solve the second problem? You have not studied, or you do not know how to calculate something, or
I don't getting how to do this.
okay. So you do not know this topic in particular. This kind of problem you don't know how to solve.
Yes.
Okay. So when something comes like when you don't know how to solve, there are 4 resources that I told, right? One is asking to peers. Another is referring to the coaching material that you have or some other notes. That is second. Third is looking into textbooks. And the fourth is looking into the internet. We keep Maths Exchange and so on. So out of these 4 options, which one do you want to choose? So we are going to solve it together, you and I. Out of this 4, which option do you want to choose? Internet, some people from today's group who has solved this. Which one do you want to choose?
We can solve together.
I didn't get you. Can you repeat?
Yeah. Sir, you can solve it.
Okay. I'm not going to be there all the time. So I want the other options, how you are going to do it. If suppose I'm not there, there are 4 options, right? So which one do you want to
I
choose?
will ask my peers or search in Google.
Okay.
Max.
So I'll just consider myself as a peer and just do it for you. Okay. Fine. So how do you find orthogonal trajectories? If there are some other people in the crowd who want to answer this question, who want to tell how to solve this kind of problems, you're welcome to.
So someone is raised.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, am I audible?
yes, you are.
Right, so this question asks us to find the orthogonal trajectories of the family of curves which is given to us. So orthogonal trajectory just means a curve which is perpendicular to the given curve. It is orthogonal to the given curve. So basically we want...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically we want a curve which is perpendicular to this given family of curves, right? So we know the condition of perpendicularity is when the product of the slopes is -1. And we also know that the slope is represented by the derivative. So basically what the problem is asking us is to figure out a family of curves whose derivative is, minus 1 upon the derivative of this given curve. So that's what the question is asking us. So the way to approach problems like this is to figure out the family of curves will give us a differential equation, and using the differential equation we will convert it into a different one which will give us the orthogonal trajectory. So what I mean is we have a equation y is equal to c1 x cubed. So from this we'll eliminate c1 and make it a differential equation.
Just a minute. So the point is, it's important that Satya gets to know what you're telling, right? So it's important that he gets what you're trying to tell. What you're telling is mathematically correct, Satya, and you should stop if you have any doubts. That's for Satya. So Satya, did you get the point that Daksh is trying to tell? Satya? Okay, so that's, you continue. I'll at the end I'll add some more points.
Okay. So we'll figure out a differential equation that represents this family of curves. So we'll just differentiate the function and eliminate the constant c1. So I mean, after doing that computation, we get that dy by dx is equal to 3y upon x. That is the family. That is the differential equation that gives us this family of curves. So now we want an orthogonal trajectory, right? So we want a curve with perpendicular slope. So we will replace dy by dx with minus 1 upon dy by dx, which is minus dx upon dy. So solving the differential equation with replacing dy by dx by minus dx by dy will give us the family of curves which will be orthogonal to this family of curves. So we'll just write it as minus dx by dy is equal to 3y by x, and we will solve this differential equation. And solving it will give us the answer that A would be correct.
Okay. Satya has texted in the message that he's just able to catch only something from him. I understand, like when he completed, like not aware of this, it's very difficult for him to follow. I'll quickly write and then show. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Okay. So the problem is basically you have a curve, a family of curve, right? U1 c equal to x cube. What does family of curve mean? So when you have y equal to x cube, it is just curve something like this. But you have c1, right? Some constant. So as constant varies, this will be some family of curves. So for example, x square plus y square equal to c1 is basically all circles centered at origin of all radius as c1 varies. This represents. So we want orthogonal trajectories to this family of curves. So what does it mean? We want to find curves that is perpendicularly intersecting to all this family of curves. So how do we do that basically? So we want to find finally some curve whose derivative which is perpendicular to this curve. So perpendicularity in terms of slope, how does it done? So we have dy by dx. If we calculate this will become c3 c1 x square, right? Now we know that if m1 and m2 are perpendicular slopes, their multiplication will give you -1. So this dy by dx can be replaced by minus dx by dy, and then now we'll get 3c1 x square. But this constant should be eliminated. We want a curve that is perpendicular to all the c1. So in order to do that, we can use what is given here. So that is, this still c1 is x cube y by x cube. So that we will get 3y by x. Now, as he mentioned, you just do the variable separation, you will get 3y dy plus x dx equal to 0. As you integrate, you will get x square plus 3y square is equal to c2. So this is the curve which is perpendicular to this. So now we have solved the question by when you discuss in person, you'll get more inputs like this. So now the important point is how do you make note for this? So the procedure is step 1, find dy by dx. Step 2, remove the constants from the dy by dx equation using this and the given data. Using data. And what is step 3? Replace dy by dx by minus dx by dy. Step 4, solve the ODE. That will give the final answer. Now, this is what I will make notes as. When I come again, I will be revising this basic part. I just want to tell one more thing, that this will also keep changing. Like, for example, instead of C1 x square, you'll get C1 plus C2 x square, something like this. So what do you do in that case, right? So there are things that you have to. So basically, this whatever that I've said is a basic version which works when you have one constant in the given family of curves. It's possible you get 2. So how do you do that? That is something that what I will do is I'll not get too much into it. If I'm reading somewhere, I'll note it down. If not, some problem like that will come, and then I'll come and edit these points, these steps, how to change if there are more than one constants. So basically, what you will do is instead of computing dy by, you'll have plus 2c2x, and then you derivate it once again, and then cancel out c1 and c2. Yeah. So the basic idea that I want to suggest is the notes that you're making should be as general as possible. When you come back, you should be able to solve all these kind of similar problems. Okay, so we will move to the next problem now. Okay, so I want one more volunteer now. Can you please raise your hand, one of you? I want a volunteer to work on the next problem. Aparna. Yeah, Aparna. Which problem were you not able to solve?
The 13th question.
Question number 13.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we saw the peer part, but the thing that I wanted to tell is learning from peer may not be helpful all the time. So sometimes people will be telling, but it may not be helpful. Like we may not be able to grasp things from the friend. Sometimes it's helpful if we are able to get the right person to discuss and so on. If the wavelength matches, it is great. Sometimes it's possible it doesn't match. Okay, now coming to this, Aparna, how do you want to go about solving this? So when you saw this problem, what did you think about it?
Like this was the part where I don't know much about the concept, so that's why I skipped it. As
Okay.
time was
So
limited.
you know groups, right? You know group, right? You know group of order.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell an example of a group that contains an element of order 3? Can you tell an example of a group that contains an element of order 3? Are you familiar with groups?
Yes, sir, somewhat.
Okay. Can you tell examples of groups?
Is it for?
Z4 that has an element of order 4.
Sorry, Z3.
Right. Z3 has an element of order 3. Z4 has an element of order 4. Can you tell a group different from this Z3 that has an element of order 3? Okay, I will ask question this way. That does Z6 has an element of order 3? If yes, what? If no, does Z6 has an element? Other people can put your answer in the chat as well. Does Z6 has an element of order 3? If yes, what element? Okay, couple of people have, so it has 2, right? 2 plus 2 is 4. So 2 is there. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So 6 is 0 in Z6. So 2 becomes 0 after adding 3 times. So order of 2 is 3 in Z6. Okay, so there are groups that you have said, but here it is mentioned that G is a non-abelian group. Can you tell an example of a non-abelian group with element of order 3? Sakshi has tell. Yeah. Aparna. Yeah, go ahead, Aparna. Okay, people have said that D3, S4, S3, all these groups. Now, this is a very specific question. I don't know how to. So the answer is option D. Even if two group elements are of order finite. Okay, let me put this question this way. Now, G is an abelian group. I'm telling that G is an abelian group, right? What can you tell about order of alpha and beta, alpha into beta? If G is an abelian group, what can we tell about order of alpha beta? Is there an answer in the chat? What will, if G is an abelian group, what will be the exactly? It will be 12, right? So the basically the answer is if D is if two group elements are of finite order and the group is non-abelian, their product need not be of finite order. Is there someone mentioned? Sakshi mentioned we can take matrices. Sakshi, how did you come to that conclusion? Like, do you have a specific matrix? Sakshi, do you have a specific matrix in your mind? E to the power equal to identity. Right. So I will just share. So I'll quickly show you an answer. Let me share my screen. So basically question is order of alpha, order of beta, are finite. Now, order of alpha beta is alpha beta belongs to non-abelian group. We are looking for an example where this is possible. Alpha beta is finite. Is infinite. So take alpha is equal to -1 or something like this. Take this, then you will have alpha cube equal to identity, I guess beta cube power 4 equal to identity, and alpha beta you will get something like, I think something like this, I guess 0 minus 1 1 0 minus 1, so it will be 0 and 0, so this will be 1 1. Yeah, now this alpha beta to any power n is actually going to be 1 0 1 and n. Alpha is order 2. I don't think so. Yeah, possibly. So alpha is a finite order and beta is a finite order, that I'm sure. So alpha beta will power n will be 1 n 0 1, which is never going to be equal to 1 0 0 1 identity matrix. So there is an example that you can. So these kind of things, these kind of problems are very specific, and you need to know the specific counter example. So either you can do that by learning the theory, while learning the theory part you get to know, or when you do not know that such an example, you mark this question as not known. After the exam, you just make a note of it. If G is non-abelian, alpha comma beta belonging to G such that order of alpha is less than 5, imply alpha of alpha beta is less than 5. So example, in invertible matrices, 2 cross 2 invertible matrices, you have minus 0 minus 1 minus 1 0 and 0 1 minus 1 minus 1. So you take this as an example. So this will be my notes, by the way. So I'll make some notes out of this with this. So how do I even find the answer for this? So these are very specific things. Either I look into textbooks or I'll directly look into the internet. Say, for example, math. Say I will look into Maths Stack Exchange or something like that. That example we'll look now. How to look into Maths Stack Exchange is the next one, and then it's already 9. Try to. Okay. Tell one more question that you want to see in the internet and see how we can go about making notes for that. Question number 11. Huh? Okay. That's sort of simple, but okay. Let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. So the group says S3 is be the group of, okay, S3 is group, we know what it is. That we want to know the order of elements in S3 direction S3. They're telling 4, 6, 9, and 18. Let us see. Order of, just a minute, I have to fix. Oh, my screen is still visible. Order of is not typing. order of elements in.
Sir, screen नहीं दिख रही है.
Is the screen visible?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Let me share. Okay. So for order of elements in S3 direct sum S3. So direct sum math code is O plus. That's why I wrote that. So see, when I just searched in Google, the first answer coming by itself is from Maths Exchange website. Let's click and see. Okay. So S3 plus S3, the drilling has an element of order 4, 6, 9, or 18. Its order is 36 because S3 has 6 elements. S3 direct sum S3 will have 6 cross 6 element. So they're telling some stuff. We'll just go into the answer, what they're telling. That symbol is the direct sum. Anything from one piece commutes with anything from the other. We can represent the elements in fact. Right. So elements in S3 can be direct sum S3 can be written as A comma B, where A is from S3 and B is from S3. This way. Okay, this doesn't give any answer. So what I'm going to do is, I got only one thing and that is also not correct. Order of S3 cross S3. Math stack exchange. I'll put this additional. Okay. So now this also doesn't have help much. It seems like I don't think there will be answer. So I'm trying to make it more general. S3 is a very particular example. So I will put A direct sum B. So when you're searching very specific things, it may not exist. G O plus. Right. Even this order of elements in direct sum. Direct sum. Oops. Order of an element in a direct sum. Yeah. So they have mentioned it here. Say I have Z4, Z3. There is no answer to this question here. So I'm just moving to something else. Say I have Z4 to Z3. I want to find an order version 3, 4. Okay. Even this says something. So what he is telling is here, he's taking Z4 and Z5 and looking at the order of the element 3, 4. And then he's trying to conclude it should be order of 3 and order of 5 and LCM of that. So that is the claim that he is making. Order of, so let me just try to make it. So probably this doesn't help. So getting help from peer or looking into somewhere, spending some more time might help. But I will try to, if suppose finally what you will get and what kind of notes do you make, I'll just tell. So you have two groups, G1, direct sum G2, and then you have order of A. You're taking two elements, A in the group G1 and B in the group G2. Now A comma B in the direct sum G1, direct sum G2, order of A comma P will be LCM of order of A comma order of B. So I'll just make it a single line stuff, and then so this is the thing. It's the right thing. Yeah, someone has raised hand. Yes, Sri Lakshmi. So you have something to ask, Sri Lakshmi? Oh, okay. Let's see what's the answer in this case. See what's the answer in this case. So, see. So, what are the in S3? What are the order of elements? Elements of order 1, 2, 3. Right. Now, we want to find elements in order of elements in this. So it's going to be LCM of these three combinations in these two spaces. So it will be 1, 1 will be 1, 1, 2 will be 2, 2, 1 will be again 2, 2, 2 will be 2, 2, 3 will be 6, 3, 3 will be just 3. I don't think any other possibilities will come. So the elements order in S3 direction S3 using this formula is 1, 2, 6, and 3. So if you go back to the question, out of the options that are available here, 6 is the only option. So the notes that I'm going to make is what is important for me at this phase. So it will take some more time to figure out from where to find out. Some more searching specific in the internet or looking at the books. Right. So I just take the general version of this note. So yeah, I think I'll stop here. So as I mentioned, I just told a couple of things what you can try. It takes a lot of effort to sit down and do these things. All the best, and I'll just stop this screen share. Yeah. So I'll just
thank you.
Just thank you for Vinod sir for the opportunity, and thanks for the Maths Aspirants community, and thank people for the time. I really hope that you guys get very good ranks, and all the best. Thank you.
Okay, 1 minute, Elanchearan.
Yes,
thank you very much. Thank you very much for this nice session. You have taken our participant to a different vibe in this last week of their preparations. I'm sure that they have got some more confidence and some new insights in the last minute preparations, as well as while facing the examination in the examination hall. I would like to thank you, express my sincere thanks to you for this today's session. Dear participants, now it is your time. You can share your comments about the session. Please keep the video on mode and also introduce yourself before commenting.
Sir, my name is Janvi Patel and मैंने M.Sc IIT College से complete किया है 2021 में. At this time, sir, मैं B.Ed कर रही हूँ. दिसंबर वाला मैं नेट देना चाह रही हूँ. सर उसी प्रोफेशन में लगेंगे सर.
Is there something specific? I couldn't hear. Yeah.
January, do you want to make any comments about today's session, or do you want to ask something?
सर आज का सेशन बहुत अच्छा था और 3 से 4 क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर पाए इतने टाइम पे. सर ये मेरे लिए बहुत अच्छा था.
Okay, thank you, Janvi. Yes, others. Yes, Sakshi, you can
Thank
speak.
you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Sakshi, and I'm pursuing my master's first semester only from Delhi University. Today's session was uh, today's session was very helpful, and you cleared all our doubts regarding the subjective also and how to prepare for the exam, how to attempt it. So thank you for clearing all our doubts. It was very helpful for us because it's the last time of as the exam is coming very near to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sakshi.
Thank you. Thank you, Sakshi.
Hello, sir. My name's Alina and I'm Matthew. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time. You have given us so many tips that we can follow for our last minute preparation, and also your valuable experience in time management and how you had taken initiative to share your experience. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All
Thank
the
you,
best.
Vinod, sir, for organizing such a class.
Okay, thank you, Alina. Yes.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, Harita. Yes, yes.
Hi, sir. I'm Harita. I'm from Kerala. I'm a final year graduate student. Thank you for our dynamic presentation. First of all, thank you so much. This was a great session. Usually, everyone comes and tells that you should study more, you should prepare more time, you should work out some questions. But this is the first time I've seen someone telling exactly how to do and what are problems you're going to face and how to tackle them. And we are very thankful to you, sir. I don't know how to express my thanks. Thank you so much. We will remember you. I hope everyone will follow this, including me, and we will get a good rank and we will achieve our dreams. And thank you so much, sir. All the best for your career and your PhD. Thank you, Vinod, sir. As usual, you please know what's best.
Thank you, Harita. All the best.
Yeah, Harita, you can work hard and you can go and meet Charan in IIT Madras itself in the next year, possibly.
Yeah, you can go to better places also.
Okay, okay. Yes, Sahra, you can speak.
I'm Zahra Rumaita. I'm from TMG College. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time spending with us. And thank you so much for your tricks can you, sir, can you share something about your IIT life?
Okay. What aspect of IIT life? Okay, I'll just share what I like about IIT Madras. One single point. This is the highlighting thing. Okay. So if you want to learn about anything in this world, say cryptocurrency, NFT, or some mathematics, or some technology, or something new, there'll be someone in the campus who knows 10 times of what you want to know. Not just that, they'll be happy to share those knowledge with you as well. So the kind of people that is inside IITM, that is one of the major good points for me that I can share about IIT Madras. If you want to learn about anything, there are people who knows and also who are willing to teach you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And once again, thank you, Vinod sir, for conducting this session.
Okay, thank you, Sahra. Others?
Hello, sir.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, Didi. Yes, Didi, you just.
Hello, sir. How are you, sir? Do you remember me?
I do. I think you were there for the internship, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to see you again. Hope you're doing good.
Me too, sir. Sir, I want to thank you because you shared the knowledge and the preparation guidance that you followed at your time. And as you know that our GATE is in the next month, and this information and the strategies are very helpful for us. So thank you so much for your valuable time and giving us the guidance that that will be very helpful for us in the day of the exam. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir, for answering this question.
Thank you, Titi. All the
Okay,
best.
thank you, Titi. Yeah. Yes, Gayatri.
Hello, sir. I am Gayatri. I have done my graduation from Miranda House College, Delhi. The session was really interesting, sir, and you have mentioned a lot of important points that are useful for us. And it was a much needed class for us in this time. And I have to say that you are really inspiring. And thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Gayatri. Any others?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, my name is Arya. I'm from Kerala, and thank you, sir, for such a wonderful section. And it was really nice. And you cleared many of our doubts regarding the last minute preparation, time management. And thank you so much, sir, for spending your valuable time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
Yeah. Yes, 𝕚𝕟𝕟𝕟, you can speak.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. I am 𝕚𝕟𝕟𝕟, Visakhapatnam, and my native is from UP. I did BBS translate in UP, Andhra Pradesh, and I did my job in IIT exam and other exam also. I am to the M.Sc PhD. Can you share your experience about there some different books also how to do the exam, and what you told like coaching it, which coaching it.
I think his internet is sort of weak.
Yeah, some problem is there with its net connection. Yeah. Did you heard anything?
Thanks. Sir?
Okay. Did you heard anything
Did
he
you
asked? Yeah,
no,
I
actually couldn't hear him. Yeah, but thanks for him.
Coaching notes and reference books. I want to know.
Reference, I think.
Oh, you're asking for reference, 𝕚𝕟𝕟𝕟? Are you asking for reference? If you have a question, can you put it in the chat? I'll try to answer in the meantime. Reference book for what topic or thing? Network problem? Like what area?
He's telling that he's not able to speak because of
the
network
problem.
issue.
Okay. Fine. I thought reference book for network problem. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, he's asking the books that you have used in your preparation.
Right. So for subjects like integral calculus, differential equations, and so on, I would not suggest any textbooks. I would suggest only the coaching notes. For subjects like integral calculus, differential equations, where like different methods, how they are defined, some examples, and some exercise. These are for this. So for real analysis, continuity, differentiability, all these stuffs, I used Kumarasan because Kumarasan's and Ajit Kumar's a basic course in real analysis, because that's the book that I was introduced to, and that had very good problems. If I solved the problems in that book, then solving jam problems was relatively easier. So that I didn't know when I started reading that book, but I realized after that. So for real analysis, that's what I did. For abstract algebra, I think I followed Dummett and Foote, couple of different books. But the thing is, almost all these books state only theorems, isomorphism theorems and things like that. But the problems are very different. So for subjects like group theory, linear algebra, I suggest you read some book and then start solving previous year questions and problems from the coaching notes or the materials that you get. So they will actually tell you what aspect of theorems you want to know, how to use them, how to apply them. So that's very important for subjects like group theory and linear algebra. Yeah, roughly these are the things.
Okay.
The things I used.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dharmendra. Yes, Shikha, you can speak.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, yes.
Hello, bye.
So, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. My name is Shikha. I'm second year MSc student from Birla Institute of Technology, Meshra, Jharkhand. Sir, your session was really wonderful. I have seen this a unique way of giving tips and strategies, and you just did very wonderful. Actually, it was very unique for me today. When I just joined, I get to attend a session which was very much helpful for a student. It was very unique way that you did. And so I wanted to know about what career you are pursuing right now. I wanted to know more about you. What are you doing?
So glad to know that it was helpful. So professionally I'm doing right now PhD. I'm working on an harmonic analysis, which is sort of representation theory, and harmonic analysis on Lie groups, that is group structure together with manifold structure. I don't know. That's it's very sort of difficult to explain in a couple of minutes. So briefly, I'm working on representation theory, but not for finite groups, but for Lie groups. The current problem that I'm working involves some complex geometry, which is like differential geometry, but for complex manifolds on one side, and representation theory on the other side. My current work is to find connection between.
So nice to know. So I've attended
it's very vague. It's very vague. I'm sorry, I can't tell too much in a very short time. It's very so sorry about that. But yeah, thanks for asking.
Yes, so I've attended various sessions of yours, and every time it used to be very unique.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for helping us. And thank you, Vinod, sir, for organizing such sessions.
Thank you. Yes.
Hello, sir. My name is Satya.
Hello, sir.
I'm preparing exam. And these days I was confused with how to write motor, and today's session was very useful. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vinod, sir.
Thank you, Sana. All the best.
Hello, sir. My name is Abarna. I'm a graduate student from Kerala. So today's class was very wonderful and it was really unique. Actually, for me, the hardest part in doing all these problems is one part is that I don't know conceptual parts, and also it's time. So thank you so much, sir, for explaining how to give in by time-bound exams. So thank you so much for giving your time with us and spending your valuable time with us. And thank you so much to Vinod sir also for organizing this session. Thank you, sir.
Aparna, one point. Thank you. I'm glad that you liked it. The point that you mentioned, you're not confident or you're not good enough with the theory part. That I would suggest, depending on the area, like you can do the backward integration that we mentioned. You start with problem, go back, learn whatever is required to solve that kind of problems, and come. That is the thing that you can use in the last minute. You don't have to worry that you don't have theory. So, yeah, all the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Aparna. Yes, any others?
Hi, sir. Sir, I am Amal. I am from Iritty Mahatma Gandhi College from Kerala. Sir, the session was really helpful because the strategies that you have told for us for our last minute preparation was very much helpful. I think it must be followed for all of us. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time. Thank you.
Thank you, Amal. All the best.
Yeah, thank you, Amal.
Hello, sir. I'm Malavika, a
Yes.
third year B.Sc Maths student from Kerala.
First of all, thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience and tips with us. It is really motivating, and the class is very nice. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable time with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir. This is Tejashwini here from Karnataka. It was an amazing session, sir. You have given us the tips how to prepare, and you have given us the way. And thank you, sir. And thank you, Vinod, sir, for conducting such a session for us. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I am Lakshmi. I am from TMG College, Tirur, Kerala. Today's class was really interesting and very inspiring one. Thank you so much, sir, for your tips and tricks to get good score. And thank you so much, sir, for spending your valuable time with us. And thank you, Vinod, sir, for conducting this class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Myself Shilpa. Thank you, sir, for this informative session. Your ideas and your tips, tricks, strategies would be very much useful for us for our upcoming examination. Thank you, Vinod, sir, for organizing such a wonderful session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shilpa. Others, if any, yeah, Akita.
Hello, sir. I'm Agita from TMG
Yes,
College.
Agita.
TMG College Tirur. Today's class was very nice and interesting. And thank you, sir, for conducting this class. And thank you, sir, for your valuable time with us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Akita. Any others?
Hello, sir. I'm Srizida from Kerala. So, can you please briefly explain your time management strategy on MSQ questions? It's sometimes difficult.
Okay, so the thing is basically you have to solve. So take MCQ. Once you find the right answer, you're done with the right option, you're done with the question. But in MSQ, you have to verify 4 options. So it is like you're going to work on 4 problems. Same problem, but you have to dedicate more time. So MSQ is the part that will take, in terms of time spent per question, MSQ questions will take more. So what I would suggest is, each individual has a different way of approaching based on how much they have studied, how much they can recollect, how they can handle the stress and so on. So I would suggest you to experiment while writing the mock test. Try to write the MSQ at the end, or try to write MSQ in the beginning. Allocate 5 minutes for it. Calculate if you're giving 5 minutes for 10 of those questions. I think 10 or 20 of those questions. Then how much time will you be able to sufficient for the other? So play with it, experiment, try to give different time and see whether it fits for you, and then figure out what works for you. It's very personalized stuff, so I cannot give specifically what works for you. You have to figure it by yourself by experimenting.
Thank you, sir. And your session was really helpful.
So thank you, Elanchan, for today's wonderful session with a very interactive mode. I think students have really got some, they have taken into some good vibe to face the exam with confidence. So wish you all the very best in your academic career for your research. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope the kind of things that I've shared will help them improve the final score in the last minute. And thank you for the opportunity. Thanks to you, and all the best to all the people. Thank you.